Hi, I'm Daphne from Daps Makeup, here to give you the quick tea on luxury makeup. But as always, I always have a lot to talk about, so prepare to sip slow. And today we are talking about the new YSL Bronzer. Get into it. How beautiful is this? You know we have to start with packaging. We have to. Why are we here? Yes, we're going to talk about the formula, but you know what draws us in first, and it is the packaging. And it lives up to what we saw online. It is beautiful. So yeah, you know, the top has that, and it does feel cushiony. Okay, so it's not like some hard plastic. I'm sure it's not real leather or anything like that, but it feels really nice. So it's such a unique texture. I'm gonna pull out one of their eyeshadows just to compare so you can see the size and look. You know, I love that YSL is going in the direction of this kind of packaging. You know, obviously it's takes off from their, you know, one of their famous purses. So it's got that same texture. The eyeshadows are black. Up until this point, a lot of the products, if they have it, it's always been in black. So it was nice that they switched it up for the bronzer to make it brown. In terms of the size difference, so you can see the eyeshadow is just slightly taller than the bronzer, but I'm just going to put it on top, but you can see though it is definitely wider than the eyeshadow, and even thickness wise, I hope you can appreciate this, but the bronzer is thicker than the eyeshadow palette, and just thicker in general from any other bronzer I own. Usually it's not this thick. Now it's not like Westman and Tillier weighty, so it's not like that heavy, but it's got a decent weight. So it feels, you know, in terms of packaging, you know, it feels, you know, something that is, you know, relatively sturdy, not flimsy. You know, you're getting a good piece of packaging here. And now let's open it up. And here we go. And so let me get closer. Hopefully you can see. So the pattern, that same motif is on the bronzer itself. I've used this several times at this point. But you can still see the pattern. You can still see the logo on there. So I feel like even as I keep using this, you know, this pattern will stay there for a decent amount of time. That's not just immediately going away, which is great. And I'm just looking at the camera. I think actually here you're actually getting a pretty good look at the color. The reason why I'm doing this, I was looking that way, is just because a lot of the promo pics, it looks lighter. And I always start off my videos, you know, I usually, you know, after I do my intro, I will show you a picture of swatches. I'm not going to do that today. I posted online on my Instagram, Daps_makeup. So if you already follow me there, or please start following me there, you'll see I did swatches of this on its own. I took pictures and I did swatch comparisons. The thing about it, the reason why I'm not going to bother showing it to you guys is just because even my pictures I felt were inaccurate. For some reason, and I think because of the natural lighting of where I am in my room, it's looking more accurate. But in the area where I normally go, which, you know, I guess I get even more sunlight, it comes off looking lighter than what it looks like in the pan. And so every picture I took, it didn't show the true depth in pan. And then swatching it, even I was doing my swatch comparison, it's crazy. This comes off looking like it's deeper than all the rest of my bronzers, and that is so not the case. So just with this, you know, I truly feel the best thing to do is to show it to you in action. Okay, so no swatch pics, because they're inaccurate. I'm just telling you, regardless if it's promo pics or my pics, it's just better seeing it here on camera is more realistic. So what I'm going to show you is 2 demo videos. The first demo video is one that I did the first time. It's a true first impressions. I did a very light makeup look that day. I did not use any other cream, bronzer, contour, or anything. I had foundation on, but I went then straight in with the powder, so you could just totally see it on its own. I mean, you'll see. In the video, maybe I'm squinting. I'm trying to look. I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm like, obviously giving its best chance, and I'm building it up. But I'm already going to give you a heads up. This is not the most pigmented bronzer. So then the next video, I wanted to show you how I normally use it and how I normally use all bronzers. Okay, this is not just because of this, not because if this is too light or anything like that. The way I do my makeup is I do my foundation, my concealer, and then I do use a cream contour. 90% of the time it's Tom Ford's Shade and Illuminate in Intensity 3. The other 10% of the time in what I use today is actually Danessa Myricks Cream Balm Contour. It's in the shade Deep 2. So I apply my cream contour. I will set it with powder. Today I use Dior. A lot of times I'll use Chanel or maybe By Terry or something like that. Or maybe even Guerlain Meteorites. But I'll set it with powder. After I do my eyeshadow, I'll apply blush to my cheeks, and then I will put the powder bronzer. So I'm always, for me, my normal routine is to put powder bronzer over cream contour that's already been set with powder. Okay, so I actually show you how I did my look today. So yes, I have it on now. Okay, I'll get closer later when we talk some more. So in the video, you're going to see me create this makeup look, specifically the bronzer section, and you'll get to see how that appears. At this point, I've used this several times, so I've truly have formed an opinion. I've used it with different foundations, different cream contours and balms, with contour, without contour. So I feel confident. I know my opinion at this point. It is not a first impression. I've had this for a week. Watch those 2 demo videos. Then we're going to come back and talk, and I will give you my honest opinion of this bronzer. See you in a minute. All right, guys. So I'm going to try on for the first time the new YSL Bronzer on camera with you. It's in the deepest shade, number 5. Oh, look at this packaging. Oh, and it's got a good size to it, not a bad weight to it. And I have to tell you, because I know you're looking at this and you're like, I'm going to bronze with this. I don't know what to do, but on camera, it just looks light. Let me turn off the lighting for a second and see if that helps. Okay, I think that helps. Still, I'm going to tell you, even in person, it looks deeper than this, but that helps a lot because the lighting, it just washes out the color. And that's how pictures online are. I even hesitated getting it because I thought it was too light. So, I want to show you with light, and I'm going to show you now without light. And just know, even still, I'm just looking at it, I think it might even look even a little bit deeper to me in person than you're even still seeing it now. But okay, so we're going to do this with no ring light. I'm going to use my normal Sonia G Need You Pro brush. It's what I mainly use for all my bronzers. I got my base on. I did already put a little bit of blush on. It's the Gucci Warm Berry. I always do my blush first, then my bronzer. That's my normal routine, so I'm not changing it, okay? But I'm going to be placing it right in this area. All right, let's see if this can bronze my skin tone. All right, we got a good amount on the brush. Okay. I see a little something, something. Let's see. This is my side with nothing on. And there. I'm trying to look off camera as well because I'm trying to not look in the viewfinder because the viewfinder might make it look not as deep. Okay. And let me just do the bronzing of the one side. And then I'll put the ring light, even though that probably will ruin it, but I just want to see both with ring light, no ring light. So there is this side with the bronzer, and this is the side with no bronzer. Let's see. I don't know if the light helped or not. There we go. Let me get another brush as well to maybe like do a little nose contour. I did not use any cream bronzer. Normally I use a lot of cream bronzer first and then bronzer on top. I didn't really put cream bronzer so that you could truly see the bronzer totally on its own. Okay, I just got another brush just so we could try to kind of try to bronze the nose, contour the nose, and just see. So this is on this side. So I hope you can appreciate. I think it is giving, you know, it's supposed to give a shadow, you know, for the contouring. So there you are on this side versus no shadow on this side. Okay, let me do my full face and then we're gonna talk. Okay, so we are here to apply the YSL bronzer back again. So you should have already seen me apply when last time I had a more simpler look, and I applied it. I don't know if you could tell, but it didn't show up that well. This time, you know, I'm not going so simple with my makeup look, and not just the eyeshadow, which is YSL, by the way. Not just because of that, but this time I'm doing my normal routine, which is before I get to powder bronzer, I do my foundation, my concealer in a cream contour, and then I will set everything with powder. And then later on, after I do my eyes, after I apply blush, then I put my bronzer on. And that is how I always do my makeup, okay? So I wanted this time to do it like how I would normally do my makeup. So yes, it's going on top of a cream bronzer, cream contour, but that's what I normally do. And I wanted to give it its chance. I showed it to you on its own, and you know, pigmentation was, you know, minimal. So I want you to see, you know, now let's give it an even better chance to show up, because now it's got a cream contour base. And I don't go too crazy, and I, like I said, I powder everything down. But now it's got a little assistance now, maybe. This is not my first time doing this, but it's my first time doing it on camera for you guys. So here we are with bronzer. Niji Pro, this is what I always use for my bronzer. So I'm really doing my normal routine. Let's open her up. This is what she looks like. I might have to turn off the ring light. I remember last time. So yeah, it is looking lighter to you than what it is in person. So actually, yeah, let me turn off the ring light so you can see it in natural lighting. Give me 1 second. Back in natural lighting, so I hope you can better appreciate the color of the bronzer in the pan. Okay, I got it on the brush. I got it on the brush. Let's see how well it shows up. I know I always do that face. And I will turn on the ring light as well. So I will show you natural lighting and ring lighting. So that's me applying once. With this one, I definitely always go in more than once. This is one I can't just do it once. I can't. But luckily it is buildable to a degree. So that is just on my cheeks. This is nothing on my cheeks. This is on my cheeks. All right, let me put on the ring light. Let's see if that helps or not. And this is the side with it on. This is the side with it off. Let's do the forehead. I'll keep the ring light on initially and then I'll turn it off. Because I think the one thing I will say, and I'm digging in multiple times, I think it shows better on my forehead than it does on my cheeks. So you can see with no bronze, okay? So here we go. So I think you can see a little bit. So you can even see the mark with me not being blended in. So there's the bronzer, no bronzer. So hopefully you can appreciate that. Bronzer, no bronzer. I'm gonna keep just working on just the one side because I want you to be able to see bronzer, no bronzer. Let me turn off the ring light before I do the other side. This is also natural lighting. So I hope you can appreciate. This side has no bronzer, this side has bronzer. So you can see it, and it is bringing warmth to my face. So you can see bronzer side versus no bronzer side. In terms of the cheek, bronzer side, no bronzer. So hopefully you can appreciate it. Let's go on and do the other side. Got to keep things obviously even. I'm gonna build up, build it up, build it up, build it up. So I'm putting lots of layers to ensure it shows up. So I'm gonna just go off camera real quick, just to kind of, you know, I always do like a kind of finishing powder. I need to put on some lipstick. Let me just get the whole look together and I'll give you one final look. All right, be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here is the final look. So yeah, I hope you can see the bronzer on the cheek. I think especially on the forehead, I think you can appreciate it. You know, I just used some my normal Chantecaille finishing powder. I didn't even add any highlighter today. On the lips, I have Lisa Eldridge Velvet Muse and lipstick, and then Lisa Eldridge a fair lip gloss on the lips along with a brown liner. And so this is the final look. So I got thoughts, so let us talk about this bronzer. Okay, and we're back. So I hope you appreciated both those demo videos and got to see, like I said, on its own, and then versus on top of my cream contour. So what do I think about this bronzer? Obviously, my favorite thing is the packaging. The packaging is everything, but we have to talk about the formula. It's not a bad formula. It is not. It really isn't. I'm going to tell you what I think about this, and I think it's also important when you're getting this to also understand what your expectations are, what you look for in a bronzer, and we really also have to discuss the difference between a bronzer and a contour. And I think everybody knows, but like you have to really understand the difference, okay? A bronzer, because this is a true bronzer. A true, pure bronzer. So a bronzer is to bring warmth to the face, okay? It tends to lean a little red, and it brings warmth to your face. A contour provides shadow. A lot of times, you know, can lean, you know, it tends to lean more cool tone and can potentially even look a little gray. You know, leans a kind of gray because it's providing a shadow. So especially when we think of contour, we're especially talking about the cheeks. When we want to chisel those cheeks, okay? When we want some true sculpting, that's when you think about a contour. And, you know, everybody has their preferences, and, you know, especially depending on not only skin tone, but undertone. For some people, bronzers are better, and for other people, you know, contour can work very well, depending on your undertone and your personal preference, because all of that comes into play. You know, I think these days, you know, most people don't, don't really do a pure contour anymore. For the most part, I'm sure there are, but at the same time, I also think, even though people keep throwing out bronzer all the time, I don't even think most people, when they get their bronzers, even how bronzers are made these days, in most cases, are not even true bronzers. I will call them brontours. Yes, because you know what the truth of the matter is? I think we all want the best of both worlds. We want the warmth of a bronzer, but we want the chisel action of a contour. We just don't want it to be too gray. We don't want to look too sickly with a contour, but a bronzer can only do so much in terms of, you know, sculpting. So the truth of the matter is, a lot of times when we're picking out our bronzer, what we're really looking for is a bronzer, okay? And a lot of brands, that's actually what they are giving us, and they are actually giving us a powder that has elements of both. Okay. So, coming back to this, I'll lift it out. This is a pure bronzer. This is bringing warmth to my face. Now, you know, there's two issues, you know, about the whole bronzer versus contour, and then there's an issue of depth. Two separate issues. Okay. An issue with the depth. So, initially and I think you could see from the videos, when I put my first brush in, and I get a good amount, but the first time that I apply it to my face, generally speaking, I don't really see it. I'm like, you know, I start questioning myself. Am I going crazy? Do I see it or not? That's a depth issue. But the good thing about this, it is buildable. So for me, on my skin tone, one swipe of this bronzer does not work for me. I have to go in multiple times, at least twice, but I gotta get a lot of swipes in there. And even when I say twice, I apply it twice usually, but I'm actually going in there multiple times each time. Okay, so I am digging in there and then I go apply and it actually builds up and it does show up on me. Okay, I have the deepest shade, it's number 5. Okay, I think it's called Dark Sienna. So it is not the deepest bronzer that I own, but luckily it is buildable. Okay, so number 1, I have to work to build it up. So now coming back to the bronzer aspect. And I hope you can appreciate it both from the demos, but even looking here, especially looking at my forehead. That's where I feel like you see it the most. I hope you can appreciate that it is providing warmth. It actually is showing up. It is providing warmth. And I especially appreciate it on my forehead. The issue that arises that may bother some and might not be an issue at all for others is when you're looking for that bronzer action, when you're looking for chiselness, sculpting, the cheeks is where you care about. Especially when you're doing a full glam look, you're trying to snatch the cheeks. When you apply it on the cheeks, it's like I don't really see it. Like, I guess it's there, but it's not, especially next to a blush. So overall, I'm getting a beautiful warmth. It is providing a natural bronzing action to my face. And so I'm actually going to keep it. I debated, am I going to keep it, not keep it? I'm actually going to keep it because it is providing a natural bronze. It's a natural bronzer and it is beautiful, especially if I am doing a more, soft makeup look, no makeup, soft look, then I think it's beautiful. But if I'm trying to be good snatch, this ain't it. Like, honestly, like I might even, I think I look beautiful today. I might even off camera, I'm not going to do it here because I want you to fully see the bronzer. Off camera, honestly, I might go into one of my other bronzers, like my favorite is Dior, and just put a little bit on my cheeks so that I can get that action that I like on the cheeks. But I'm actually okay with even leaving this on the forehead. So that's what you have to understand, that it is truly a pure bronzer. It provides a natural bronze to the face, but it really has zero bronzer action at all. Because we all have our idea of what a bronzer is, and we, are a lot of times comparing to what we have. Let me quickly just show you my other favorite bronzers so you can have an understanding. I'll try to swatch. I don't know if this is going to work out. So I'm going to swipe this, and I'm going to do it on my inner arm because the reason why I want to do my inner arm, I actually tried to do it on the back of my arm, which is darker, and it's basically, it just blends in and you can't really see the difference. So you can see it better on my forearm, the inside of my forearm, which to be honest, my face is more like the inside of my forearm rather than the outside. So, okay, there is YSL, okay? Next, I'm gonna swatch my number 1 bronzer, and that is Dior, the original one. And I'm already gonna tell you, if you're gonna ask me, are you gonna get the new one? Are you gonna get? I would love to because it looks beautiful. The packaging, the embossing is gorgeous. But no, because those look like they're gonna be face powders. No, they're trying to play us. So I'm gonna stick with this one. And clearly, I love it. Look how I've hit pan. Will I throw this out? No, because I will use every inch. I will keep this till it is gone. That is how much I love this. So this is my number 1 bronzer to use. Oh no, I want to go on the inner side. And this is actually what I was talking about a little bit in the pictures that I posted. So you would look at this and you'd like, oh, this is much deeper. It's not. This shows up more in me, not this. Okay, but what I do feel like you can appreciate, see how this is much warmer? The Dior is more neutral leaning. Not super, super cool where I'm gonna, like a true contour where it might be scary looking, but you can now understand how this provides some more contour-like action. So when I put this on my cheeks are, okay, snatch. This one is so warm and natural that it just blends in. And like I said, it's really this. It blends into my skin. Where this actually pops out and shows out. Now, my second favorite bronzer is actually from Victoria Beckham. So if I'm not using Dior, then I am usually using Victoria Beckham. So this is Victoria Beckham, and I'm only using this dark side. This ain't for me. I don't know who it's for. So, I mean, obviously it's for somebody much lighter, but this ain't bronzer. I only use this section. You can't see it, but I've made it like, see that little peak? I am starting to slowly hit pan in this one. So I'm just going through the Dior faster. So let's do just the dark side. I'm not going to bother to swipe the light side of Victoria Beckham. Okay. Now, and you can appreciate this. So you can see the Victoria Beckham is warmer than the Dior. And so because my preference is I love that contour action, the snatch ability, that is why I tend to prefer the Dior. With that said, I hope you can understand this provides much more, the Victoria Beckham provides much more depth than the YSL. And so although it's more bronze, it is deeper. It shows up more. So I get the bronze action, but I still get a little bit of chisel. It still chisels my cheeks out because it has the depth to back it up. Okay? So this is my number 2, my number 1, but this is a good second. And it becomes a preference. You know, I have a girl who would say this is their number 1, this is their number 2, and I think undertones matter. My girl, has a much more golden and warmer undertone, so I could totally understand why she would want a warmer bronzer, where I have more of a neutral undertone, so of course I lean towards the neutral bronzer. I always tell you, undertone matters. Charlotte Tilbury. Funny enough, I don't really use this, and it's actually a good bronzer. I really can't think of anything bad. It actually might be the deepest out of all my bronzers. And I can't tell you why I don't reach for it more. I just don't. And this doesn't even show to you, but it's a beautiful shade, but I don't know. I guess it's something about the tone that I just love these two better than this one. But it's good. I actually don't have anything bad. Next, I will, Pat McGrath. I own 2 of them. And this is great for our discussion because these two are very different because one is a bronzer and one is a true bronzer. Natural bronzer, very similar to YSL. So my favorite for Pat McGrath is Bronze Mahogany, and this acts like a bronzer. This, I think you can appreciate. It has some depth and it has a coolness to this. So it's not a straight bronzer, it has some coolness to it. And that's that one. So you can see it has some more contour action, which some people will love and maybe some people are not. You know, if you don't want it to be too contour, you might not like this. On the other hand, I have Burnish Honey. You could see this one, very warm. This is a true bronzer. This one, just like YSL, it's so warm that, and it is lighter as well depth-wise, that I tend to use it. I have now kind of regulated this to just when I'm doing like a no makeup look. This gives a natural bronze, so very similar to the YSL. So you can see how red and warm this is compared to this. I know there was a lot of people that complained that a lot of her Pat's bronzers were very red leaning. So there were a lot of people that weren't a fan of that. And again, especially if a lot of them were like this one, and I think that's what was the case, that's an issue. Luckily for me, she did create this one, and that has more of a contour action, which I do like. So that would be my number 3 bronzer. Charlotte Tilbury's number 4, and I can't explain to you why, because it has like great depth, but there's something about it that just doesn't get to me. Last place for me about my old bronzers is actually Gucci. Now, obviously, we love her for the pack. See, this is like, remember, this, you know, I'm saying I have nothing as thick as YSL. This is as thick as what? Let's see. Yeah, see, these two are the two thick girls. So this is as thick as YSL. And this one is definitely bronzer. This is red. So this I reserve, I don't use too often, but I have to be really in, I want to be warm. So I have to really be like, I don't know. I know Burnished Honey is looking more red, but this is red, but it's got depth to it. And so compared to YSL, it's actually deeper, but really comes off red. Really comes off red. So those are all like my main bronzers. So, you know, I think this picture is probably more realistic than the one that I actually posted. So maybe I'll repost this picture. So, okay, those are all my bronzers. I thought it might be helpful in case you're curious if you are my shade range, if you own any of these, how it compares to YSL. So we have YSL, Dior, Victoria, Beckham, Charlotte, Pat Bronze Mahogany, Pat Burnished Honey, and then Gucci. You know, and I always get the deepest shade of all of them. In every brand, I'm taking the deepest shade, which is a problem. Coming back to that, that's a problem with this YSL. I can barely use this. I can just use this. So if you're lighter than me, for those who are lighter than me, this should work for you. If you are my skin tone, it will just work for you. And depending on your preference, this might not be enough for you. Like I said, if you really love bronzer and you want it to be deeper, this might not be deep enough for you. Like I said, if you want more of a contour action, this might not be for you. So you just have to be cautious. If you're my skin tone, it can work for you, but your expectation better be for a natural bronze. And if you are deeper than me, run away. Don't even bother. Don't even bother, because I have to build it up for it to show on me. So if you're deeper than me, let it go, which comes to our last point. YSL, this can't be your deepest shade. We need a couple more shades. No. We need something deeper, and preferably also a contour, like how Pat had two different versions, like, you know, a true warm bronzer and then a cooler bronzer. Can we have those, please? Please, we need more shades. 5 is not going to cut it. You know, other brands can pull off some 5s, but the way you distributed your shades, no. We need some deeper shades. So that's it. That's my final thoughts. So as always, like most luxury brands, you get an A+ for packaging. You know, formula is actually, it's a beautiful formula. It blended beautifully. So formula is great. The issue is, number one, depth. We need deeper shades. And just understand it's a true bronzer and not for contouring. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful so you can make your choices, because this isn't, you know, these products are not cheap. So, you know, you want to make sure that these are products that you will truly use and love. So that is the end of this video. Like I said, in terms of the rest of my makeup, just real quick, I have the YSL eyeshadow on now, Chanel on the cheeks, but the rest of my products are Lisa Eldridge. I'm using the Lisa Eldridge. I had to hold back not to use the YSL mascara because I really like the YSL mascara, but I went with Lisa Eldridge mascara, the new Kitten mascara and liner, along with I have Lisa Eldridge on the lips. So be on the lookout, because there's going to be another video dedicated to Lisa Eldridge's mascara and liner. Definitely have thoughts on that, so be on the lookout for that. And you know, in the video that'll come out next week or the following week with whatever new comes into my collection. But until then, have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.